Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 421, Bullet to the Head from 2012. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too, and this episode is brought to you by Ace Records. Check out their album, Everybody is a Star, the Sly Stone songbook for all of your Sly Stone cover songs from various artists, including Whitney Houston.
Well, shout out to Ace Records.
Or no, sorry, it was Tina Turner. Never mind.
God.
Ignore it.
Wow.
I bumbled it. Sorry, Ace Records.
We're going to have to give all that money back.
No, shit. Redacted.
Anyway, shout out to Ace Records and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever to join us to talk about this Sung Kang Jason Momoa movie starring Sylvester Stallone. We have, for the first time in a long time, fan favorite Garrett Smith. Hello, Garrett. Welcome back.
What's up, boys? Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
When was the last time you were here? It's been a little while, hasn't it?
I think it was Never Ending Story, which could have been, I don't know, a year ago.
That feels forever ago.
Feels forever ago. I feel like I think when I saw Garrett at your barbecue, that's what it was.
May of 2024.
We all saw each other recently. Yeah, wow, that was over a year ago. Holy shit.
You were also on before that, Passenger 57, a couple months before that. You were on before that, Megaforce, Behind the Paywall.
Nice. Well, I'm glad Garrett's back.
I reach out to the fan favorites, in title and otherwise. I'm like, which of these movies do you want to pick? He's like, I want to do Bullet to the Head. And I'm like, cool, see you in 8 months. Like, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So
pretty much, yeah.
You know, there's not that many episodes where we can have a recurring guest, but here we are to talk about Bullet to the Head, a movie I thought I saw in theaters. I was talking to Garrett. I was like, I think I saw this in theaters. I did not, but I think I confused this with Escape Plan, that Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger prison movie that I think I saw that in theaters. But I had seen this at home on DVD or Blu-ray or something. But Joe, before this week, had you ever seen or heard of Bullet to the Head?
I have not, and I have no idea how I haven't seen or even heard of this movie, considering it has two of our main actors in it. But no, I have not. I'm also not really like a huge Sly guy. Like, I was thinking about this, not like that I don't like his movies, but I think that like I watch like Arnold and maybe Steven Seagal over Sly. Just in general.
Interesting. See, I love Sly, but I tend to go for like softy Sly roles.
Okay.
Like I like Rocky. I like Over the Top. I like Copland. I like his like softer side, and I don't like the Rambo side of him as much, which it feels like this is like maybe walking a line between those two versions of Sly.
Yeah, Softy Stallone. I thought you were going to say like Softy like Oscar, where he's just like the mob boss who is trying to like wed his daughter or whatever. Not marry his daughter, but like marry his daughter off or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is more like in line with the Expendables, or where this is also, in terms of the hard Stallone, the only movie apparently, at least as of this release date, where all of his tattoos are Stallone's real tattoos. There are no tattoos added. There are no tattoos hidden. So, like, when he's shirtless in that bathhouse or whatever, all Sly, baby.
Wild.
That is very strange, but a weird fact. Like, that, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess, but that's not really, like, an actor's choice, right?
Well, no, but it is funny because the implication of that fact is that in any other movie you're watching, he is either adding or removing
that's what I'm saying.
tattoos from his body. I don't know. That's a pretty interesting fact. That's funny. Like, why is he decide? I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I guess it's not his choice. Now I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying like
it's
this is
there's like a director
it's for the director, like the role or
Yeah.
something, like the costume people. Like, it's not like he walks in and he's like, you know what, take some of these away, add some more.
Yeah.
Like,
so Stallone did not direct this, but there's some background that like basically it seems like he was maybe in charge. So here's Bullet to the Head from 2012. After watching their respective partners die, a New Orleans hitman and a Washington D.C. detective form an alliance in order to bring down their common enemy. This is like the least New Orleans movie I've ever seen set in New Orleans.
it's so little New Orleans is not even a factor in this film, but sure.
It's got the parade scene, and which is a requisite if you're doing a movie in New Orleans. There must be a New Orleans
one
parade.
Scene where they stand on the balcony overlooking the road where the parade would be, and just like, wow, we really are in New Orleans.
We get a shot. We get a shot of the Mississippi River at one point. You're like, cool.
I like so glossed over that it was in New Orleans that they're like, why does a Russian don't all Russian hookers go to New York, LA, or Las Vegas? So I was like, wait a minute, where are we? And then I'm like, oh, it's New Orleans. Okay, got it. Okay. Directed by Walter Hill. This is his first movie back in a while. I'll get more into that in a little bit. I know that Garrett's got about a bunch of information about him. He did The Warriors, The Driver, Streets of Fire, and 48 Hours. Written by 3 people who I can't really find credits for them. Alessandro Camone, Colin Wilson, and Alexis Nolent. Produced by a bunch of people who did a lot of Sylvester Stallone stuff. Miles Millar and Alfred Goch. I don't know how to pronounce those, but I know those names because they produced TV's Smallville. So they went from Smallville to this for some reason.
Okay.
A bunch of people who produced other things, like some real producerial talent. Bob Dorman, who did the Lady Gaga Star is Born. Jessica Allen, who did V for Vendetta and our beloved Speed Racer. Alexandra Milchan, who did Tar. Aaron Och, who did... These all sound like German names. I did not look at these names before I started cold reading these. Who did The Nice Guys and Orphan. So, like, there's people who have made real movies. And, again, tied to Walter Hill, who's, like, a real director. Shot by Lloyd Ahern II, who did American Wedding and Can't Hardly Wait. Budget of $55 million, made only $22 million. It was Stallone's worst opening weekend gross since 1990, which I'm guessing is probably Rocky V, maybe. Or around that time.
Could be Throw Mama from the Train.
Could be Throw Mama from the Train. And his second lowest opening weekend ever. 45 on Rotten Tomatoes, 48 on Metacritic, 39 by the Rotten Tomatoes audience. Bullet to the Head's unapologetically trashy thrills evoke memories of its star and director's proud cinematic pasts. But sadly, those memories are just about all it has to offer, which is a really brutal, for like a thing that's got like mixed reviews. It's just like, this all stinks. It's like, well, okay.
This is like basically a movie that doesn't exist at this point.
No. So it looks like a movie that was made for like TNT.
It absolutely does, Joey. Yep, yes. 100%.
So here's the original backstory. There is one crazy credit I'm going to go back to, and actually I'll do the crazy credit now in the proper order. So in the opening credits, an animated flying bullet destroys the logos of various production companies. 8 up, 0 down. That is pretty crazy.
I forgot about that. That's funny.
So okay, so here's the backstory of this movie. So the guy Wayne Kramer was hired to direct this movie in February of 2011. He then clashed with Stallone over the tone of the film, left the production, was replaced by Walter Hill in April. So 2 months later.
Sounds very Fast and the Furious of them.
Kramer wanted a darker version than Stallone.
Oh, that's not where I thought this was going. Okay.
Yeah. Especially considering the content of this movie.
It's just all murders. This is just entirely murders, but sure.
It's like a Walter Hill staple that, like, it always goes, like, 10% more intense and more violent than you're expecting it to.
Okay.
Like, things happen and you're like, oh, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? So it's, like, a little more intense than you expect.
Wayne Kramer is of note to our podcast, even though we have not done it yet, because he directed the Paul Walker film Running Scared. He also did a couple other movies that I don't really know, but that's, like, the one of his that I know is probably his biggest movie.
Running Scared kind of rocks. Low-key rocks.
I watched it when it came out on DVD, and I was just like, this movie is brutal. And then, I've been sort of like not wanting to revisit it, but all I remember is the neon night glow hockey rink where they shoot a hockey puck into guys' teeth.
This sounds fucking incredible. That sounds awesome.
It's a crazy movie. It is very intense.
We will get to it at some point on the Oops Lap 2 or something. So Wayne Kramer gets fired. So I was also listening to, as we record this, last week's episode of How Did This Get Made is about Driven, which is the Rennie Harlan race car movie that Stallone starred in, that Joe, we did over on Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, or whatever, for the Rennie Harlan of it all. We talked about it with Jay and Mark. And apparently in that one, Stallone
Was I with you on that?
You were.
Okay.
It's an unremarkable movie that apparently all 3 hosts of How Did This Get Made really liked, and I was just like, that is not my memory of that movie at all. But
sure.
Stallone said in that movie, this was supposed to be a story about love and relationships, but Hollywood didn't want us to tell the story. So it seems like between that and this, Stallone's just like, I'm making love movies or something. Everybody's just like, no, you got to tell darker stories. It's like, well,
who's he in love with in this movie?
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying he wanted that to be a love
he
one.
Wanted soft. He wanted
Wayne
softer
Kramer's
movies.
like, we want a darker one. He's just like, we can't do dark. We got to do light, or I don't know. But it just seems like the movie he makes is always a darker tone necessarily than what he originally envisioned. I don't know.
Yeah.
So when Wayne Kramer was attached, he brings in Thomas Jane, star of 61, Hung, other things. Kramer brings in Thomas Jane, and then Kramer gets fired, and Jane says, hey, you should hire Walter Hill. Like, he wants to come back out of retirement, whatever. Walter Hill comes in, he's just like, too many white guys. We need somebody of color. Let's bring in Sung Kang. Thomas Jane, you're fired. He's just like, hey, you should bring in this director. The director's like, cool, you're fired, guy. So they bring in Sung Kang.
That's an insane story.
Walter Hill's first film since Undisputed, 10 years earlier. And the quote that I have from him is, quote, We're not breaking new ground. We're trying to be entertaining within a format that's familiar. There's a kind of ice skating that goes on when you must let the audience know you're not taking yourself too seriously, but at the same time, the jokes are funny, but the bullets are real. The jeopardy has to be real. When it gets outlandish, there needs to be no drift into parody. Self-parody may be inevitable for old directors. With that said, I would say there's no jokes about this. This movie seems so serious as hell the entire time. I don't know what he's talking about.
I was going to ask you specifically what were the jokes, and is just the racist ones that they made at Sung Kang? Or?
I do think that's what he's referring to, because I have some interesting Sung Kang quotes about this movie.
That is the only background I have about this movie. Nothing else was interesting or even remotely helpful. So Garrett, you have a book on Walter Hill. So give us some context before I talk about the movie. Like, what do we need to know about this? Because I don't know.
But before I even start, I just like to get the temperature of the room. Did you guys like this movie? Did you not like this movie? I'm like, I don't even know. I'm somewhere in between.
I think I'm somewhere in between with you, bud. It was just like oops all murder. Like I was telling Rachel, this kind of felt like a video game where like every person we encounter tells you like one piece of the story, and then you just instantly kill them, and you just go to the next like their boss to find like who their boss and then kill them. So like as a film. But like it wasn't bad. It just was like not what I was expecting, and in the middle somewhere.
I would not say that I like this movie. I don't need to have said that I've seen this movie twice now. But I don't think it's bad, but the issue that I had, and I think this is also like, we're watching for Sung Kang, we're kind of watching for Momoa.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, well, you're in a Sly Stallone movie. Like, Momoa gets to be the villain, so he gets to shine a little bit. But like, when you are a cop partner of Sylvester Stallone in a Stallone movie, you're going to have no ability to shine at all. And so watching for Sung Kang, it's like, oh, you're like so an afterthought.
Some Walter Hill stuff. So first of all, this movie is based on a comic book. That is one of the things to know about this movie that I think helps a little bit with some of what you were talking about, Joe, too, where it's like, it's a little video gamey. It's a little like, we've just got like very like archetypal characters that are just sort of slotted right into hero, partner, villain, gun for hire, on the loose. It's like these very like typical kind of like crime things. But it's based on a comic, and that's a Walter Hill thing. That's probably where he may have been a little interested when they were looking for a director last minute. His movie The Warriors is not adapted from any specific comic book, but is intentionally meant to evoke like comic book framing, comic book images. In his head, he was making a sort of like moving comic book when he made The Warriors, and that's probably his most famous movie and the one that people respect the most, maybe other than like 48 Hours.
And we will cover that at some point because James Remar is in that movie, so we will get to it at some point. It is canonically coverable.
He's great in that movie. It's an awesome movie. The Warriors is like one of the great like cult movies from the 70s. Totally worth seeing. So he loves like comic book stories. That's like a thing that he's really interested in. The other thing is 48 Hours. Do you guys know the movie 48 Hours? That's like Eddie Murphy's kind of like breakout movie.
I'm with Joey. I've seen it once.
Another 48 Hours, but I've seen the first one.
Yeah, and so it's like him and Nick Nolte. One of the central things of that movie is that it is a white cop and a black criminal. It is specific and inherent to the entire dynamic of that movie that it is a white and black man having to play off of each other as cop and criminal. And Walter Hill is very interested in that. That's like what he finds interesting about that, is like people from different cultures having to sort of like mix and match in ways that may be like oil and water, right? That's like his kind of thing. He's very interested in that.
This is old guy thoughts. This is definitely old guy thoughts.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. And that movie was a big success for Eddie Murphy. It was a big success for Walter Hill. That movie was treated as like a comedy, even though much like this movie, the only jokes in it are just like a white and a black guy saying a lot of racist things to each other for like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's like Eddie Murphy, who like has comedy chops that I don't think you could say any of the stars of this movie have, right? So there is like a charm to it in that movie that is coming from that performance that is probably not in the script. And so now we're watching, this is literally basically a reverse of that, right? It's cop and criminal again, but in 48 Hours, it's like the cop needs the criminal's help in order to solve a crime. And this is more like the criminal needs the cop's help in order to enact proper revenge for his partner's death. So it's like it's sort of putting a reverse spin on Walter Hill's most famous movie. right? Like, he's coming back 30 years later and going like, let me try that again. Maybe I can shake the dust off with like a very similar sort of story. And I don't know that he gets all the dust shaken off.
I will say in this movie, neither Sly nor Sung Kang feel like either a cop or a criminal. They just sort of seem like two dudes who are just like, not even in the wrong place at the wrong time, but like in a place at a time.
I was more confused, Joey, because, and like, I don't know if you saw it or not, Garrett, but did you see Shaky Shivers, the Sung Kang horror film?
I did not. I would really like to see that. That's the one he directed,
The
right?
one he directed, because in that film, he also he's in the film as the most racist Asian caricature I've ever seen.
Okay, interesting.
So I was like, is he like into this or something now? That like, it's weird that he's like it was one thing, like when I see it here, I'm like, oh, this is like, you know, the director, someone doing it. But then I watched his movie and he's like worse at himself. It's really bad. Like, it's really, really bad to where we were like, did he actually make these choices for himself? So that's why I wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, so I actually have some good quotes. So I have this book called A Walter Hill Film.
Okay.
And it is by a man named Walter Chaw. He is a film critic and an Asian American.
Okay.
And so a lot of this book is him in conversation with Walter Hill, and then also his own sort of thoughts and stuff about his movies, talking a lot about the central role that race plays in a lot of Hill's movies, and why that's something that's always top of mind for Hill and stuff, right? And in the author's estimation, this movie is one of the only American movies he's ever seen in which there are no bad Asian stereotypes.
Interesting.
And I will give you a quote here about that.
Now,
I
don't know. I guess this is Sung Kang who says this.
This is the author who says this, and then I'll get you a Sung Kang quote about this. Okay, so this is the author, Walter Chaw, on this. Asians in this film are unambiguously heroes, the lone clean detective in a corrupt system, bystanders risking their lives to stop a woman from getting hurt. You guys know what scene he's talking about there? There's like that scene in... it's maybe
in the tattoo shop? Yeah, where he's like, and okay, the guy like trying.
Two Asian customers like get up.
The two tattooed Asian dudes. Yes,
makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
The guy who gets the girl in the end without compromising his morals, referring again to Kang's character. Quan is weakened by his unwillingness to see the corruption around him and his fidelity to the laws of men. He tells his bosses everything he knows, only for his boss to betray him. The cops are on the take. Quan wants to believe there is order in the world, that there's a cure for the violence in him. He's convinced there is such a thing as good and evil. In this way, he's rhymed with Morel, who's like the ultimate villain of the movie, the guy that Mr. Echo from Lost plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Morel. He's rhymed with Morel, who also depends on information garnered from technology to run his affairs, and is likewise betrayed by his belief that violence can be contained. Like Quan, he believes in an idea of order, but as a member in good standing in the cult of capitalism. He believes the power of money to control and influence men. I always knew never to trust a man who doesn't care about money. It's an interesting final line for a villain. So this thing gets at like that quote gets at two of the big things in this movie. A way you can look at this movie, although there are lots of racial epithets thrown back and forth between these characters, while racial epithets are thrown at Quan gets to respond and say, "Why are you saying racist things to me, you old idiot?"
That's true.
You know, it's not like those things are thrown at him and go by. He gets to respond and call it out. And then gets to be the hero of the movie. He gets the girl in the end. He makes a big point in this chapter about how, like, Asian characters rarely in American movies get the girl in the end. They're often sort of sidelined for a hero by the end of the movie. So his estimation was that this particular Asian character is actually pretty unique in the pantheon of, like, American action movies.
That's an insane thought. Like, not my read of it.
I think that is less a factor of this movie doing well and literally every other movie failing Asian actors.
Yeah, probably.
Also true,
sure.
Yeah.
Well, also, technically, he does get the girl in the end, but it's largely off-screen, right? Like, it's not like we see them kiss. It's just like, oh, I'm with your daughter now. And Stallone's like, I'll beat you up if you... whatever. It's just like, but we don't see them, like, kiss or even embrace. So, yes.
That's true. Here, I have Sung Kang on this, and he seems to echo these sentiments. He says, it's very, redefining the whole 48 Hours dynamic between Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. But in the past, anytime there was an Asian in the film, let's say opposite an African-American, the jokes were always on the Asian guy. By the way, I'm going to have to say some words right now in this quote that I would not normally say. I'm just reading the quote.
Understood.
You don't speak English. What do you do? Kung Fu? It's more making fun of his ethnicity, but he couldn't return it. But this is more acceptable. Wait, ready? This is Sung Kang on this.
Okay.
But this is more acceptable because it's this old school guy in his 60s, and it's a guy's guy kind of thing. He also does dirty work for a living, and his goggles of the world, he sees an Asian guy, he thinks, whatever, you're Chinese, Ching Chong, Vietnamese, whatever. And I'm this new... Yeah,
Sorry,
okay.
Sung Kang.
Yep, that's good. That's Sung Kang. And I'm this new generation Asian American that speaks English, that's overachieving, that's athletic, that is also three-dimensional, sexual. Women find him attractive. I can stand up for my own. You put these two people together, and it's water and oil, and you shake it up, and it becomes humorous. It's really funny. That's Sung Kang. He also thinks this movie is really funny.
I can see this as a thing where that's the movie you're pitched, that's the movie you think you're making, but at the same time, it's like, that's not...
Well, hey, that's another thing to be aware of, right? When you're reading quotes like this is probably from the press tour. Mm-hmm. Who knows if Sung Kang had even seen the movie he was promoting at the time
you're right.
He's giving these quotes. I still think that's an interesting aspect of this movie. I don't know if the movie is successfully like hitting these marks the way that this critic thinks it is, right? But I do think it's an interesting aspect of the movie and it's an interesting aspect of Walter Hill movies. It's all like out there in the open in the movie, right? Like the characters are like openly having these conversations.
Yes, yeah.
It's not Rush Hour where they're just like pointing at each other and like making a stereotype, right? They are getting to respond about those things and sort of volley it back and forth. Well, and I do think there's some merit to that.
There definitely is. Yeah. It's just like a wildly different take than what I was thinking as I was sitting there watching it. I was like,
I don't know that the movie is nailing any of that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are cool with it, because like I was feeling a little type of way when I was watching it for you, but like we said, then we watch fucking Shaky Shivers, and we're like, Sung Kang really leaned into it as like the most stereotypical Asian character I've ever seen on film in like a movie that's come out in the last 20 years. I'm like, whoa.
Where this movie is more interesting to me is so this book is all about masculinity in Walter Hill's films. The book basically makes the argument that like all Walter Hill films are about masculinity. That's like basically exclusively what they're about. Different masculine archetypes, setting them against each other. And the big argument it makes is that one of the ways that masculinity is defined is through action. And he means that in like a very literal sense, that like inaction on a character's part is unmasculine. You are not a man if you cannot act in the moment and do something about what's laid in front of you. And that is something that definitely, if you see more Walter Hill movies, does bear out as like seemingly the argument he's making about masculinity, that action and movement itself is masculinity. It's the way men communicate with each other. It is the way men interact with the world. In particular, Stallone has a very interesting career to think about in those terms. He has two of the pillars of like American masculinity on screen in Rocky and Rambo.
Yep.
And they are two totally different versions of American masculinity. Those characters are almost like diametrically opposed as to like the way that masculinity is like depicted.
Well, at least the original Rambo, right? Like the original,
for sure,
disgruntled Vietnam vet.
Even more so, Joey, if you think about the arc of that character, where he's like a returned vet who, by the end of the series, is literally a hunter.
Well, after he helps like empower the Taliban, but okay.
No. Yes. I do think that actually the way that character evolves is helpful in what I'm talking about, right? Like that evolution of that character into an even more violent monster of masculinity is a particular kind of American masculinity that we see a lot, even in our real daily lives. And Rocky is like a sort of softer version of this, but is still like a man of constant action. He can't stop.
Well, I don't
there
think
literally
there's
are more and more movies about him having to hit harder and again and always get up.
I don't think there's like a lack of action on Sly's part, because he literally saved Sung Kang's life twice in this movie. But it's like,
yes.
I can't really think of like action that Sung took.
The book makes the point that like that's one of the interesting things is that it's also a young versus old thing, and Kang's actions are literally like computer actions. It's him on a cell phone.
Oh, that's
it's
right.
It's him using technology to solve a crime in a way that Sly's character could never.
A 2012 movie is way too late for Stallone to be like, you get all that from your phone? It's like, come on, guy. Like, cell phones have been around for a long time. Like, yes, but...
By the way, he continues to make that joke into, like, what is it, like 2015? Is that when Creed comes out? That's got a joke where he's like, the kid's like, oh, it's in the cloud, and Stallone looks at the sky because he doesn't know what the cloud is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, he continues to make these jokes. But here, I really like the author on this particular note that I'm making here. This is Walter Chaw. Taken together, Stallone and Hill's work constitutes an emotional history of men in crisis in the United States over the last half-century. The synecdoche of a nation through its heroes. Both had their big breaks within a year of each other. Hill had his directorial debut, Hard Times, in 1975, and Stallone with Rocky in 1976. Both have worked consistently across multiple genres ever since. Hill likes to say there are only two stories. This is kind of helpful in understanding Hill, I think. He says there's only two stories: the Crucifixion and the Odyssey. Okay. He attributes this theory to Borch. Personal codes guide his and Stallone's rosters of heroes because the systems of man are arbitrary, insufficient, and impotent. Jack Bentine, John Rambo survive because of the choices they make, not because of any religion, culture, or political system. Words are weapons and used sparingly. Like the Romanticist conception of Satan, they believe all action is positive and inaction is negative. Nature, specifically masculine nature, is the first testament to God. Hill and Stallone are a match made in heaven.
I think that would have been true in the 80s. It would have been more interesting to me in the 80s than to see...
Yes, which, so by the way, I think, so part of why this movie is a little wonky, Joey, is to what you were saying. Hill comes on kind of late into the production of this movie. Mm-hmm. It's mostly a Stallone production at that point. They had always wanted to work together in the 80s, and it just never happened. So I think it's how Hill can get brought on board, only take some control over what he has.
Sure.
And you get a sort of muddled, even in the way, because I agree, Hill made some beautiful movies in the 70s and 80s. Mm-hmm. The Warrior is an incredible-looking movie. The Driver is an incredible-looking movie. 48 Hours and, what is it called? Another 48 Hours? Yep. Both great-looking action movies. This movie looks kind of like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like he's, like, you can see it if you're familiar with his work. You can see it in the frames. It's there. Like, what he does is there. But it's like shot on a DV camera that was in someone's back pocket all afternoon getting sweat on it. You know what I mean?
Well, so I think, like Joe said when I was talking about the thing, like it's very Fast and Furious coded. Like, I think that there is definitely a parallel to be drawn between, like, a Sylvester Stallone movie that he's not necessarily making, but, like, he's there, and a Vin Diesel thing where he's not necessarily making, even though Vin's a producer and Stallone's not a producer. So it just feels like this is a vehicle for you to do what you do, or whatever.
Yes.
And... I don't know. It's tough.
I think on a scene-by-scene basis, there's some great shit here. As a movie, I don't know that it's really ever actually working, right?
Yeah.
Like, when we get to axe fight at the end, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, this is exactly what I want to see from these characters. Let's go with an axe fight. Mm-hmm. Like, I love that shit. There's some betrayals along the way that are very fun and just, like a comic booky... like, you know, a villain arc kind of sense. I like the way Momoa just kind of becomes the centerpiece villain because he's just a loose cannon that can't be controlled.
He muscles his way up to the top, yep.
Yeah.
I think that's a great early Momoa performance, too. This shows what he's bringing in Fast X, I think, like, very early in his career.
Yeah, it is. It's weird. Also, just because I was thinking about it, like... how weird is it that we watch all of these guys, Sly included, just like get bigger and bigger as time goes on? Like, Momoa looks really tiny here, and he's ripped. Like, he's still a huge dude, ripped, looks physically intimidating, but like you see him here versus like Aquaman, and you're like, holy shit, it's like a different person. And we watch the same thing happen with Vin. We watch the same thing happen with The Rock. Sly, same thing happen with him.
Sly looks insane in this movie.
Yeah.
It looks like someone chiseled him out of rock, but that, like, they didn't get any of the lines right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Joe, what do you think? Like, I know that you said you're sort of on the fence, but like watching this movie, seeing it for the first time, what were your thoughts? What did you like? What did you not like?
I don't do really well with just general action movies. You know this. I'm on the record saying that. So, like, the whole, like, go-to place, shoot guy, go-to place, shoot guy, like, doesn't really do it for me. But I think some of the characters are interesting. Like, the guy that they, like, kidnap, like, coming into the bathroom being like, hey, is there any drugs in here? Like, that was fun. Like, like, I think I'm more of, like, along with Garrett, like, having the tattoo artist be the the daughter, but also be the veterinarian fixer because she did a year of med school. Like, there's like interesting pieces that I'm like, okay, but yes, whenever you put this together as a movie, it felt so linear that I was like, I don't know. And like, yes, like Garrett said, like if you have somebody, they heel turn immediate. There's no like like you're not like, oh, is it a good or bad person? Like they're good and then bad. Like it's just so black and white a lot of the time that I'm like, okay, I guess I could see what you're doing.
You absolutely know that the guys Quan works for are going to turn on him by the end of the movie. There's like not a question of that from the moment that they come on screen.
Well, there's so much of this movie that feels like if you had never seen the movie before, you would be maybe surprised by stuff. But like early on, when you got like a very thin Holt McElhenney, who I love, wearing a dom chain, and he's just like doing drugs in the bathroom by his hooker, girlfriend, whatever, naked in the shower, and it's just like, why would you leave her alive? Like, the whole movie set up, like, it's based on just, like, oh, I should have killed her, but I didn't kill her because I had a soft spot for her or whatever. Like, Sly went easy on her. And then we see the inevitable Momoa working his way up. And there's so much of this that just feels like A to B to C, where it's, again, it's not bad. It's just remarkably unsurprising.
That's what my linearity. I think it's just very linear.
This does not make the movie good, right? But I think that another way to read what you guys are saying is that, like, there is an inevitability to this meeting between Stallone and Momoa by the end of the movie. The moment these two characters are in the same city and this plot is set forth, these guys are going to fight with axes. Like, it's going to happen the moment that hotel scene goes down. And that could be very interesting. I don't know that the movie is actually getting that across in a way that is actually interesting, as opposed to maybe just kind of boring because it's like so rote. It doesn't feel like there's an actual interesting thing happening here to hang your hat on. You're just like, yeah, I get it. Crime tropes. I've seen this.
I mean, I think the issue that I was having with the movie, and this is, we covered a couple laps ago, Joe, we did Homefront with Statham and James Franco and Winona Ryder, where it's like they're in New Orleans, and there's a scene in this movie where Sly's out on a pier and there's a caution alligator sign. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then like they don't really go back to it. It's just like,
no.
You're in New Orleans, there's the threat of alligators, and they don't do anything with it. And we were talking about that before, like it doesn't feel like New Orleans. But it feels like there are ways to make your generic crime movie a little bit less generic through character or through place or through this or through that or whatever. Even Momoa with the axe fight at the end, I'm like, this is cool, but it's also, I don't know, like I needed more at that point to sort of salvage it. And like I think the axe fight at the end is very cool, but by that point I'm just like, okay.
I'm always impressed with the way Hill shoots and edits action. I think it's usually pretty clean and clear. It's never like exceptional. You're not watching a John Wick movie or a John Woo movie, but there's like a clarity to his action that I really appreciate. And so I like that axe fight at the end. I think it's a pretty good one. But I agree with you. You kind of feel like when you get there, you're like, I want this to be a little more explosive than it is, Well,
I also think that just in terms of the things that we've seen before, there's like, oh no, Sung got shot. You got to bring him to the CD. I was like, is it going to be like a veterinarian? Because like there's always like a veterinarian in these movies. It's like, no, it's a tattoo artist. Like she's really good with needles. And then there's the whole, isn't she so hot? He's like, that's my daughter. What are you talking about? It's just like we've seen that before too.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. I think it's
definitely an old guy movie.
Your dad would be like,
it's very much
check
like
it out. It's his daughter. You don't know, and he's like, "It's my daughter." Like immediately afterwards, you're like, "Oh yeah, Dad, cool."
It's a TNT 2 p.m. Afternoon movie. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's like barely a functional dad movie. I do think Stallone is pretty good in this, but in a way that is like boring to watch. He's trying to walk, I think, this like very subtle line between his like more soft-hearted characters. That's the only way we can buy, as you said, Joey, it's the only way to buy into even what's happening in this movie is if you believe that there is this like soft side to this guy, but he's also meant to be this like almost inhuman criminal, right? Who just like kills at will with
no
like
boundaries,
really
no law, no morality, just murder.
He's always killing people before you expect a character to kill people, especially a character that you're supposed to think is like getting a little soft. Like characters die halfway through a scene because of him. It's always a little bloodier than you expect. But like I think in the performance he's really trying to walk that line between like, a more Rambo rough and tough guy and somebody that's a little more in control. And I think there's something interesting about that. But at the end of the day, I don't know that there's even any energy to it. You know, like it feels like he's napping or something.
No, I think what the movie is doing, and this is the thing that I thought was really interesting and I liked until I'm thinking about now what I think it's asking the audience to do, is when they're giving Sly's backstory. They're like, I've been arrested 30 times, I went to trial 4 times, I got convicted twice. And they're showing all these mugshots. It's like Dog Day Afternoon, Serpico.
Yes.
Like, they're all these different, like, headshots through the time. And I'm just like, that's cool. Like, there's, like, this, like, we all know Sly for the last 40 years by this point, right? Like, it's cool. And then I'm realizing now, as we're talking about it, you know what? Like, it's also the reason you cast Stallone. It's like, you know, all of that emotional baggage, good and bad, but mostly good, that you have with Stallone, bring that to this movie. There's a thing that we talk a lot about, like, on the podcast at Don't the Mic, where it's like the Cage movie, or it's the Keanu or Cruise or Hanks or whatever. It's like, you cast someone like that because it's a shortcut to being like, this is an action movie because Cruise is there, or like, this is an emotional dad movie because Tom Hanks is in there, or whatever. But it's like, all of that, you know, like what you're saying, Garrett, in terms of the backstory, in terms of the softness, the hardness, the riding the line or whatever. It's just like, well, I saw him do that thing and that thing, so that's probably what this character's like too. It's like, well, no, you don't get to just do that. Like, you have to show me in this movie why he is the way he is, as opposed to being like, hey, remember when he did Serpico or whatever and he hated corruption, but he's all, or whatever, you know, whatever.
Like, prove to me Jack is Jack. That's his character's name, right?
I have no idea.
No.
It's James Bonomo, a.k.a. Jimmy Bobo.
Yeah, Jimmy Bobo.
That's right. That's what it is.
Jimmy Bobo. Yeah, it's really unfortunate that this is a movie that doesn't exist because he played a character named Jimmy Bobo, and that should be at the tip of all of our tongues, just like Rocky and Rambo.
Yeah, it should. It feels like that has a better place than it does.
Planet Hollywood should have Jimmy Bobo costumes hanging in it. You know what I mean?
I have a question for you guys. We talk about this a lot in Fast and Furious. In this movie, is Sung Kang a good cop or a bad cop?
I believe the movie wants you to think he is unambiguously a good cop.
But in practice, in this film, are his decisions those of a good cop or a bad cop?
No, he's a bad cop in 2 ways. He's like a bad cop and just like he is a bad cop. Like he's decided to work with this guy,
yes,
right? Bad cop right off the bat.
Off
right?
the rip, yeah.
Yeah, but also like stupid cop. Like he's also bad at being a cop.
Yes.
In like the way that he's just like collecting the information and just immediately calling his superiors to give it to them. Like how do they think you're even getting this information? You know what I mean? It's like there's way too many logic leaps that you're going to have to make because you're working with Jimmy Bobo to get this information.
Yeah.
To like actually make it like serviceable information in a real case, you know?
But then you're like, he's like the only morally good one in the thing. So you're like,
I mean, that is the one thing that Shaw says that is, again, it's in the movie. I don't know if the movie is good at doing anything with this. But it is interesting that, like, it's not so much that the movie thinks he's unambiguously a good cop. It's that the character Quan believes that he is a good cop. And that there is such a thing as being truly good or bad. And that he exists on the good side of that line.
Yeah.
Which I think the movie believes is, like, not true at all. There is no such thing as that. The world exists in all gray areas. And this guy doesn't understand that, right? Is like ignorant to that somehow, which is an interesting idea. I don't think the movie is really doing anything about it, interestingly.
The issue with the question that Joe asked, like I don't know if you were ever on the show, but we used to ask that question of every guest, like, is Brian a good cop or a bad cop? And then we're like,
oh yeah, I remember.
We don't even know what this means. And I think that like,
that's the part of the question.
Especially now in the 12 or 13 years since this movie came out, like, what does it mean to be a good cop or a bad cop? Like, I don't know if either of you have seen The Naked Gun, the new movie, but like Liam,
not yet.
But they say to Liam Neeson, they're just like, he's like, cops can't get in trouble, cops can't get arrested. It's just like, of course they can. It's like, who's going to arrest me? Another cop? She's like, yes. And it's like that's the whole, like that's like the like it. But then they move on from that rightfully because like get bogged down in that. But it's just like I don't know. Like, is Sung Kang playing a good at his job cop, a morally upstanding cop, a cop who needs to do to get it done? I don't know. Maybe. I also think that like if he were the lead. Because I think he is so, like what I was saying at the beginning, he's so firmly backseated behind Sly that it's hard. And I think that like any kind of compliments you can pay toward this movie that's just like, oh, like it treated its Asian characters pretty good. It's just like, yeah, because Sly's on screen for 60% of the movie and everybody else is just like, yes, sir, but I don't like the way you call me that name or whatever.
Yeah. You know, if that's how Shaw feels, that's fine. But it feels like a paltry sort of olive branch.
I guess they tried.
Yeah, I liked this movie more than I expected to. It's also very disappointing in like almost every way.
Wait, so had you seen it before, or no? You picked it because you wanted to see it?
Because I wanted to see it. Because I'm reading this Walter Hill book, and I've not seen all of his movies. I especially have not seen late period Walter Hill. I've seen a lot of his like 70s, 80s work. I've not seen a lot of late Walter Hill, and this was like kind of like his comeback movie, and rightfully so. I don't know that anybody even knew he was back after this movie.
Because when I saw this movie, I did not... I mean, I had seen Fast 5 and Fast and Furious 6... No. Probably hadn't seen Fast and Furious 6, but I'd seen Fast 5 once, so it's not like I was going to remember who Sun Kang was. And I had not yet started watching Game of Thrones, so I did not know who Jason Momoa was. So, like, in my head, the only memory I have of this is Sly. And then also, like, vaguely Sarah Shahi, but, like, I don't really know her. I just think she's cute. Like, that... Like, I don't... It's not like, the movie with Sarah Shahi or whatever, but if I had seen it, if I... 3 years later or whatever, be like, oh, the movie with Han and with Khal Drogo. Like, okay, cool. But it is, sadly, I think, largely wholly unremarkable, which is the toughest movie to talk about, because it's like, it's not bad, because it's not bad, it's just not also good.
No, there's nothing to hang your hat on here, and you're right. It's like Kang doesn't really make an impression here. He makes an impression. Like, I think he's good in this. I'm not saying he's bad, but like in the way that Han pops, he doesn't pop here.
Yeah, it's not. I mean? It's like not the character, So it's like you're pigeonholing him into like a goody two shoes cop, which is like a very different character than Han, where he could shine.
We've also not talked about the fact that Christian Slater is like the original sort of bad guy in this movie.
Oh yeah, he's awesome in this movie.
And then he kind of reports it to Mr. Echo, but then they all get wiped out in one way or the other. But like Christian Slater is I think that's also something where like a dad movie would think is cool. It's like, oh, he was the bad guy, but then like Stallone just like, I'm done with this guy, and just shoots him. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I by the way, I like that's another good scene in the movie, in my opinion. I like that interrogation scene. I like the way that goes down and the way they good cop, bad cop, and kind of push each other back and forth in different directions. And I do think the way that ends is like, in the context of this movie, is kind of funny and interesting, and pushes Jimmy Bobo right along on his path. I don't hate that stuff, but I also Christian Slater. I just love. Like, I have always really loved Christian Slater. I am a big fan of Pump Up the Volume. I might be the only person on the planet that's willing to say they love Very Bad Things. It's a wild movie. Christian Slater is. I love him. He's awesome, and I think he's really funny in this. The way he gets like one scene to be a sniveling bad guy, only to like in the very next scene be the most pathetic person in the whole movie. Like the next time we see him, he's drunk at his own party, clearly being outclassed by a better villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have either of you gone to a party where naked women do the tango?
I would like to. I've never experienced that. I was thinking when I was watching it, like, are masquerade parties like always like aggressively horny?
Well, I think ever since Eyes Wide Shut, yes.
Okay, that's what I have to imagine, right? And I was like, what came first, the chicken or the egg here? Like, were masquerade parties always horny, or was it like Eyes Wide Shut made them horny, and now everybody's like, those are horny parties?
Yeah, I was going to ask if they even exist in this format. Like, it feels like maybe just an invention of movies, right? The topless masquerade party.
Well, it's also so funny that
I can't figure it out.
How out of place they both are, because like they're so fish out of water. I do like Hans Sung's Centurion helmet, but like it doesn't fit for this party at all.
Nope, or him as a character.
These are all things that feel like they could be more fun, right? Like in 48 Hours, the famous scene is... he has to take Eddie Murphy into this bar where he's going to question a bunch of guys. And so then Eddie Murphy acts like he is also a cop and starts yelling at a bunch of people in a bar. It's a really funny scene because of the way it's like playing on a bunch of different stereotypes. This feels like a scene designed to have that kind of fun. Have these two guys that are really out of place at this party. These two actors, especially Stallone, that we don't see do silly things like put these masks on. But they do nothing with that.
No.
It's there's nothing that happens in that scene that is remotely interesting or funny with those characters.
No, I think the only thing I remember that either of them do at all in this entire party is that in the bathroom they have another bathroom showdown, because there was the bathroom showdown earlier in the movie, and then that's when Sly knocks out Christian Slater and they drag him out and then they bring him to the safe house where they murder him, right? Like they're just there, I guess, to get him and it's mission successful, but I don't know. I will also say, I don't think Momoa should use a gun. I think he is big enough and handsome enough and like scary enough that you don't need a gun. Just like stop shooting people. Just like use like what you have around.
Yeah, last ditch effort for the gun for Momoa, but there was just everybody was doing a lot of murders in this movie. Like every character was expendable pretty much immediately when you meet them. It was like whatever information they needed from them, they get and murder. Like
you know what I felt? Who I felt really bad for was whoever has to clean the pool at that bathhouse when Stallone kills the guy and shoots him into the pool and just like the blood goes out. I'm like, come on, man! Like that's somebody's like that's just like a bad day for somebody, you know?
I think that
classic
a lot.
action movie image, though, right? You always shoot somebody in the head and they fall into the sauna.
I think so. Yeah, that's a good. There's like I thought about this a lot because like there's like whole people that now I have to say side tangent. I was reading You'll Be Gone in the Dark or whatever, right?
Oh, I'll be on the Michelle McNamara book. Yep.
Yes, yeah. So I was reading that, and they were talking about like in the whenever this started, I forget what it was, 60s, 70s, wherever like the East Area rapist like existed. Like one of like the first murders, the dude's like, oh, like I had to go over to my brother's house and like clean my like sister-in-law's like whole corpse off like everything because at this time there was no like crime scene.
There's no
like,
sunshine cleaners
services. Yeah, there's no like none of that. And yes, when you say stuff like this, I think about this a lot. I'm like, who's gonna clean this up? Like, where are these people? Do you just call it? Like, there's just dead bodies all over the. Like, he's leaving them in the bar. He's leaving them in the fucking, the bathhouse. So you're just like,
well, yeah, like
man.
This is also. It would be a very different movie, right? But it's also like you could imagine that like another way this movie could go is that Kwan's superiors are like, dude, there's 4 more dead bodies in the last 2 hours.
Exactly.
What are you doing? Where are you? Like, what's happening?
I think
you
that
are
you're probably
riding
involved
sidecar
in this.
to a killing spree.
Yeah, right? Like, they'd have to be able to connect this pretty quick that you're like, where were you just at? He was like, this bar. And you're like, oh, where the 6 dead people are. Cool, thanks.
Well, did you guys also catch there's the murder where is Momoa who does it? The little knife, quick jabs to the side of Jimmy Bobo's partner or whatever in the bar early in the movie, and then they're in the morgue and they've got his chest like splayed all the way open.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? Did
I don't remember.
Did you guys notice this?
No.
They got his chest like splayed all the way open. The guy's like, yeah, those those cuts prove that it was this kind of thing, and I'm like, did you have to open his chest all the way up to figure it out?
There was 17 stab wounds in his side.
Yeah. Well, in the book, Chaw mentions that's like, I guess I've not seen enough of this in Hill's movies, but that actually is like a recurring image in Hill's movies, is like in a morgue there will be a body that is like fully dissected, just like all the way open.
Just needlessly.
I don't know why. That's just like an image he likes, I guess, or whatever. It's in a bunch of his movies. But like in this movie, it makes no sense.
Can you also
so
tell me if it's a recurring motif for ostensibly, the third lead, the beautiful female daughter of the star, to be bathing alone in her house and to let a stranger basically let himself in with a key to use a computer?
No, I don't think so.
Your daughter is naked. Well, you don't know.
Where
that
Spy's
she's
like, she's probably asleep. Here's the key. I'll wait outside. It's like, why are you waiting out? Like, why is any of this happening the way it's happening? And then she like
he's
startles.
like shipping them from the beginning. That's like part of the thing. Like he's like, oh, let's go see my hot tattoo artist daughter.
I did like when he's like, can I use your computer? And she I don't know. I wish I wrote down the exact line, but it's basically like, that's the line. Like that. Like that's what you're going. Okay. Like she's like that. That's not what I expected you to say, but like okay.
Yeah, I really do feel like just like some of the scenes themselves, there's good stuff here. There are ideas, there are interesting character dynamics.
Well, then
there
like
are
very literally in
but...
that scene, he like solves the entire case. He like uses the internet to like crack. He's like, this is Mr. Echo. Here's the drug thing. Here's where the money comes. Here's where the money goes. Here's all the payouts. Bingo, bango. It's like there's still 35 minutes of the movie left, guy. Like, what are we doing now? Like, you just solved the case. There's too much movie left for you to just like be happy with that. And that's when essentially Momoa was like, the movie's no longer about the actual crime. It's just going to be like an axe battle.
Yeah. Which is like sort of a classic noir trope where like the thing that you think you're doing the whole time is like almost irrelevant. It's more about some other like bigger thing that's happening in the
get
background.
that, but like do it a little bit more artfully. Like I was watching recently Body Heat, which I'm sure Garrett you've seen. Body Heat's a great movie.
Body Heat fucking rules. Yeah, that movie's great.
Joe, do you know Body Heat?
No.
Body Heat is in like Miami or somewhere really steamy in Florida in like
Sounds right.
81, and it's all like red. Everything is like red and sweaty and gross, and just like you can just feel how hot it is. And then like 45 minutes into the movie, there's like a moment where the like femme fatale, you realize like, oh, this is a noir where she just like basically she's like, we're gonna kill my husband and get away with it. It's like, oh, I didn't realize what kind of movie, because it's not black and white and shadows. It's like red and sweaty and whatever. You're like, oh, and
It's
here it's
still
like,
the same
okay,
thing, yeah.
if it's a noir, sure. Like, is Sarah Shahi the femme fatale? Kind of, but like she has agency, she has a job. Like that's not what you're doing here.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna do that kind of like twist on a formula, like let us know what the formula is.
Yeah, I feel like he's not very good at signaling that in this movie. I think he has been good at that in the past, and I don't know that he's like hitting the marks here.
Yeah.
It definitely is a disappoint. Like, if you're a Walter Hill fan, I think there's no way to say this isn't
Especially
a
if you've been waiting
disappointment
10
in some way.
years, right? Like, you're
Yeah,
like, oh man, my
yeah.
guy's back.
Yeah. And he's, like I said, he's doing like a reverse 48 hours. It's like he's back and he's doing the thing that he's like the best at. And, it's like, it's fine. That's like the best thing you can say about it. It's like, it's fine.
Maybe I missed a line that's like, it can't be copied, but when they give Mr. Echo the evidence they found on the computer, like, he doesn't seem to realize for 1 second that you can copy a flash drive. He's like, oh, I have the only copy of the evidence in the world.
People do this all the time in movies, and it drives me fucking nuts. They're like, this is it, the only copy. And you're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's like a line about him wearing it around his neck. Like, is that where Christian Slater keeps it or something?
Yes,
And so,
yes.
like, they are trying to do that movie thing of implying that, like, somehow, beyond all reason, these files only exist on this 4 gigabyte SanDisk drive,
That's in like a triangle shape. Like it's...
Right, it's also does not look like any USB drive
No.
you've ever seen. Yeah.
Like
I
the way
mean,
my
that's
computer
normal, though.
is set up with like a little thing at the top, like it would not be able to fit in my computer. I have to like go around back. I'm like, I'm not going to plug this shit in. Like, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah.
And then like it's in that scene where Mr. Echo pays Sly because he like just like, here, I'll give you like $250,000, and Jason Momoa is just pissed that he like got paid the same amount. It's like, guy, I don't know, dude, get more money somewhere else. And then he just kills everybody. It's like, you're not going to get the money you already got. Like, he was going to pay you.
Again, it's like I'm giving this movie more credit than it needs, but it's like that is Walter Hill's sort of anti-capitalist jab right at the end of the movie, that the guy that believes in money so much so that he's like, certainly this clearly insane murderer that I've hired will just do exactly as I tell him to do because I've offered him money.
Yeah.
Is, ultimately taken out by that. His belief in money is what kills him.
Well, there's also like a scene early in the movie, which I don't remember if it ever comes back, but like Mr. Echo's like using a cane to walk around, and it's just like,
Right.
Okay. And then like, I don't know if that's back, but like, it's like, hey, this is like a sort of a frail, feeble guy who needs muscle in his life or whatever, and then can't coax Momoa out of killing him.
Sure, I mean, if Chaw's onto something here with Hill's notion of masculinity, then Mr. Echo's character, who has to use a cane to walk, is a man of inaction, whether he likes it or not, right?
Well, that's to be clear.
He cannot set things in motion unless he has lots of money with which to hire men that can commit action.
Yep.
And thus sort of like substitute his own like neutering, via money. And so again, it's like a belief in money as an almost like cult that is like his undoing or whatever.
I also do want to apologize to Sung Kang from earlier, saying that he did not do anything, because he does save Sly in the end, even though Sly axes Momoa in the toe, stabs him in the throat, and like in what is maybe like the one genuinely cool moment in the movie to me, where he like has the pocket knife and jams it and then like opens it, and like it opens into the throat.
Yeah.
But all Momoa does is like spit out blood and then go after Sly again. But I felt like Sly was gonna be okay there, and then Sung, man of action, shoots him.
yeah.
Why does he shoot him at the end? I was like taking notes and I must have missed that part. He like shoots him and he's like, "You're gonna thank me for this."
When who shoots who?
When Sly shoots Sung Kang at the end.
Oh, yeah, because he's like, he wants an
"You
alibi.
need an
'cause
alibi.
Sung is
Okay.
still a cop, so he's just like, it's essentially the end of Out of Sight also, which is sort of a spoiler for Out of Sight, but just like, you're a cop, I'm a criminal, they're going to come after you if I don't make it seem like that you didn't try to get me.
fought and shot everybody. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I thought, but I didn't know if it was deeper than that.
And I think it's like in Hill's little dichotomy of masculinity here. It's like that's all that's about. The why does he shoot that guy? Because that's how he finishes this like friendship transaction with Jimmy Bobo. He has to kill a guy and like sort of like prove to this other man that like, yeah, like I'm going to get your back, and like this is how I return the favor of you getting my back. Our masculine exchange is now complete.
And that's what allows Sly to call Sung Kang a fortune cookie as the movie ends.
Yeah,
and then another Rachel up at that, and
it's funny, you see.
It's really fun.
Sung Kang says it himself.
Well, it's also like, talking about Mr. Echo from early mid seasons of Lost, where I remember reading so much about like Daniel Day Kim and Sun Kim and being like, oh, like this is the first thing we've ever been cast in where they're like, oh, you're Korean, like we're going to make your characters Korean. It's just like, oh, you're Asian, well, you're Chinese now. It's like, well, that's not what I am. Yeah, and so like it was so important. And so I have Mr. Echo there and then just be like, I guess as a joke, maybe for the dads to be like, yeah, fortune cookie. It's like, not actually, I'm not, but.
Right. Yeah.
Is Sung Kang actually Korean? I don't remember what his real ethnicity, because he says it in the movie. And if they're like all excited about this in a way that I wasn't, then he should be, right? Okay.
He's Korean American, so much so that they remember in Tokyo Drift they have to have him explain that he is a Korean living in Tokyo.
That's right.
To work
you're
for
right.
the mafia. Yeah.
But back to like the whole like racial thing though. There's something mild to be said that like I remember I saw this video and it was like of two construction workers. And there was a white guy and a black guy construction worker, and they are saying wildly flagrant shit to each other. And people see the video, and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. And then somebody replying, no, those guys are best friends, and you just can't see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like, I get the sentiment in some people's heads that, like, in the dad sense, like, him calling him a fortune cookie at the end is, like, him
a sign
like,
of affection. Sure.
Yeah, like, I accept you, and yes, he is a criminal that's an old guy that probably like exists in this world for so long that yes, he is doing that. That feels weird to us, but
it's very much like an old guy thought, right?
Yeah.
It's like a guy that was progressive in the 80s in 2012 being like, all right, let me bring my progressive 1980s politics into the future.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like,
he was like, I never didn't like your kind, or like something weird that, and you're like, whoa, oh, okay.
I do think that like that's a very good point, Joe. That friendship takes many forms.
It does,
but also I don't know, man. Like the whole movie is just like, look at this guy. Isn't it funny how I'm calling him different things? It's like, well,
that's what I'm saying too. Yes,
but it's going from like, oh, I'm being racist about it to like, oh no, it's a sign of affection. It's like, I don't know if you earned that, but.
Even if that's a point the movie wants to make, I don't know if the movie itself actually earns that point, right? Like, I don't know that you feel it between those characters.
Right.
So with it feeling unearned, it then becomes a lot more complicated because it's just like, well, I don't know that you're even successfully making the point you want to make.
Mm-hmm. Joe, do you have other notes, other thoughts about Bullet to the Head? I did get excited when they said the line, although I didn't write it down because I didn't know the context. But like, if you're not gonna take a bullet to the head, like you shouldn't even be there. Just like, oh, okay.
I was the only last thing that I haven't cut in yet is like why was there giant product placement for Bullet Bourbon in this movie for no reason?
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
I literally was wondering, like, in 2012,
did he own a piece of it? That's what it felt like to me. It felt like it was Sly's bourbon, like he was somehow involved in the production of it.
I also I know it as bourbon that I could get anywhere, and if
Same.
I walked into a bar and said Bullet, they would have it and know what I meant.
Well, Garrett, you're living in a post-Bullet to the Head world where people saw.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. This is what I'm wondering. Is 2012? Is it brand new or like what? Because the movie assumes that no one knows what this is, and he has to carry it with him.
They've never heard
bars.
of this before,
Yeah.
and Bullet's very common. Yeah,
like how long has that been being brewed? And do you brew this kind of alcohol? I don't think you do you?
So I Googled Bullet Bourbon Stallone because I went to the Wikipedia page for Bullet Bourbon and his name's not on there. And so the AI overview says his character in the movie frequently drinks Bullet Bourbon, even bringing his own bottle to bars when they don't serve it. This led to the brand becoming associated with the movie and his character. In the movie, he pretends to drink it, sometimes even using iced tea in the bottle. It's also featured in Tulsa King, which also stars Stallone.
Interesting. See, he just loves Bullet Bourbon?
6 years ago, on Reddit, in r/bourbon, or maybe 7 years ago. When was this from? September of 2018. He was teasing his own bourbon release.
So he's just a dude who loves bourbon and he really likes Bullet. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Also, there's like all these in jokes on the R bourbon thing, like neat. It's like, okay. Like, Stallone's bourbon, I don't know that he actually released one. Because if you search Stallone's bourbon, the first thing that comes up is the same Reddit thread. There's an Uncle Frank's bourbon by Frank Stallone, which is a beer, but that's not made by them.
That was a wild sentence to say.
Uncle Frank's bourbon by Frank Stallone
is a beer.
Craft City. I mean, maybe it's a bourbon.
Cool. Okay.
But there's also a 12-year aged Uncle Frank's bourbon. No, maybe it is. Maybe it is just like a 12-year aged bourbon, but not by Sly, by Frank.
Interesting. Okay.
He let his brother put his name on his...
He's like, this is not going to do well.
Yeah, he was like, you know what? This business venture isn't exactly going the way I expected. I'll give it to old Frankie.
Who am I, Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Garrett, other notes, other thoughts, other things from the book that you want to share?
No, the only thing is, you guys gotta. The part of the reason I agreed to do this is because we keep talking about doing the driver eventually, and that's where we gotta get so that I can show you some Walter Hill that is genuinely interesting and good, and will be fun to watch and talk about.
I would love to do that.
All right, guys, let us watch the trailer for Bullet to the Head.
Yeah. How did they sell this movie? That's a good question.
This is Bullet to the Head, official trailer number 1, Sylvester Stallone movie HD from Rotten Tomatoes trailers. Not Rotten Tomatoes classic trailers, but new enough that this is the main Rotten Tomatoes site.
Good when you are, guys.
Yes, sir.
The top comment is all in capital letters. I'm at a point now where I absolutely love everything with Sylvester Stallone in it. He made my childhood great. So that's a dad, or that's a dad age guy who's just like, man, I love Rocky. This movie's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is also a thing that, like, I think it was during this movie, when I was, like, really, like, discovering music for the first time in college, I'd be like, oh, this band that, like, is supposed to be really good is a new album coming out in, like, 2008. I'm going to listen to that. Instead of, like, listening to, like, their good shit from the 70s and 80s
stuff,
or whatever,
yeah.
It's like, no, they're all, like, 70 years old now. I'm sure this is going to be good. It feels to me it's just, like, instead of watching or rewatching, like, a movie from the 70s, I'm like, I'm going to watch Arnold in The Last Stand. It's like, no, just watch the old one.
Yeah. Understood.
Anyway, 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Both ready?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
3, 2, 1, play.
IGN on it? That's weird.
You know what I am? A problem solver. I take out the trash. I remove those hard to get at stains.
Okay, they are going hard after the dads with this trailer.
They are.
It's edited just like the movie with those crazy flash frames all the time.
Yes, that too.
And there's the bullets taking out the things. The crazy credit.
The only reason I have a partner, right? Right.
Who was his partner? Who is that guy? That guy looks so familiar.
Yeah, he's
no
a
idea.
guy, I think.
Dad, are you okay?
My partner was clipped.
You gave me your word.
Yeah, see, like, and then you get to see, like, this could easily be Chicago or New York or anywhere, and then they give you, like, a shot on the bayou for no reason.
And it just, you're right. I mean, it looks like a TV cop show. It doesn't look like a movie.
Oh, that's true.
It just looks flat and washed out. Like, it doesn't look...
Yeah. And even that feels like, in 2012, it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like we were starting to get past that. So it's
No,
like
you're
even
right,
that
I think.
feels a little outdated.
Murders.
Like, there's just too much talent in this movie to, like, be as mediocre.
Right?
Yeah. And I don't think anybody's bad in it either.
No.
I
Also
think they're all,
true.
like, doing well in it. The movie just doesn't... It never takes off.
I just do, like what I said before, I think, like, when you're in a Stallone movie, like, the gravity, like, he's like gravity, everything gets pulled to him. It's the Mia line from the first movie. It's just, like, people are going to remember Stallone, and, like, everybody else in a scene with him are just going to have everything, like, sucked away from them.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound like a broken record.
They don't even make records anymore.
Great.
That was such a weird edit of that.
Yeah. This is definitely just pitched to dads.
I also do like the never gets old thing. Like, this is like also like in the Expendables era. It's just like, Stallone's not old, man. That's just a state of mind. Like, he's still look at him. He's fighting this young guy with an axe.
I know. But that is definitely like what the movie is trying to drive at is the old versus young thing.
Don't trust anybody. That's how you stay in the game. Bang, down, own.
I love Stallone. He's great.
He is good. Like, it's not. I don't watch like a ton of his movies because like I don't like them or him. It's just like I gravitated more towards the others, I think.
I don't think anybody else could deliver lines like that in a way that I find believable and acceptable.
Well, I also think it is like it is literally 50 years of earned good, or 40 years of like, well, not by now 50 years of like earned goodwill. It's like,
yes,
anybody like 60 or under has like literally grown up with this man. You know what I mean? And I think that if you have any affection toward those movies you're talking about earlier, Rocky or Rambo or anything, I'm going to give him a pass.
Yeah, and I don't. This is far from his worst movie, in my opinion.
Yeah,
certainly not. It's not one of his best either. But I think he acquits himself well in this movie. I just think the movie, there's something about it. It never gets any energy going.
No, I mean there are worse movies like Expendable sequels and the later Rocky movies and stuff like that. Like I'd rather watch this than those. But also,
yeah, I mean I don't know why I would ever watch this when like Copland exists and some other stuff like that he's done.
Let us play the Letterboxd game. So for reference sake, Mad Max Fury Road, one of the most popular films on Letterboxd, has been logged by 2.7 million people. Bullet to the Head from 2012, directed by Walter Hill, starring Sylvester Stallone, Sung Kang, and Sarah Shahi, has been seen by how many people?
Oh, this is tough because it's like you said, really not anywhere. Guy comes back, slides over the edge. I don't think he's a Letterboxd darling.
Over the edge or over the top?
Yeah.
It's a Stallone reference.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Do you want me to go first, Garrett, or you want to go first?
I like getting a barometer on where I should be from you. And then taking it from there.
I'm going to go
Joe also, for the record, last week, I did not give him his props in that episode the way it deserves. Guessed to the dollar. I mean, it's a round number, but like Vin Diesel's net worth. He's just like $225 million. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, no, that was from the gut. I swear to God. It was just like, I was like, how much do you think he's worth? And I was like, it feels like 225. And Joey's like, 225? You were 100% correct. I was like, wow.
Amazing.
Like your ability to guess numbers right, like isn't even like interesting anymore. It's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Sorry. You take me to the carnival and let me play like the jelly beans game or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start at 35,000. Okay. That feels like a good number to me.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so then I guess I'll go like 50K.
Because the cast, and like how many? I don't know.
Yeah.
You said
50K.
You said 50K.
Yeah, 50.
You're both too high.
Oh shit. Okay. Joe, just so you know, this is why I need you to start. I was going to start at 100K.
You know, I mean, like you heard me talk through it. I've talked through it before.
Guess.
Yeah. Take me down to 20,000. You still got Sly. You still got fucking Sun King and Jason Momoa. But like,
I know. Like, I'm only going to do this because I feel like it's going to be surprising. So I'm going to say 15K when I believe it should be like 50. I'm going to say 15.
I will say that this is, according to Letterboxd, his 54th most popular film.
Oh my God.
Slies.
So you said 15 and 20. You're now both too low.
Oh, okay,
25.
Okay.
Split the difference.
Yeah, hit me with 27.
24,499. 24,499. Average rating of a 2.5.
I wasn't wildly off with 35 on the first rip, to be honest.
No, pretty good.
Joe,
pretty good.
You can't. It's tough to give you props for nailing a thing exactly and then all being like, you're in the ballpark. But yes, you were in the ballpark.
I mean, when my barometer was 2.7 million, and you heard my mental math of how I got there, it's like Sly, but over the I don't know. Well,
the only movies of his that I've seen that are less popular, and I don't really know how popular, because it's not only based on logs. I think it's like some kind of like formula with like number of people seen it, comments, likes, recent activity, whatever, are Driven, which we just talked about earlier, Oscar, which I mentioned earlier, and Rhinestone. Oh, and also a movie called Reach Me, which I remember hating and don't remember anything about it, but like it came out
that is
in 2014. Stallone, Kira Sedgwick, Thomas Jane, Terry Crews, Lauren Cohen from The Walking
Thomas
Dead.
Jane eventually did a movie together.
Kelsey Grammer, Danny Trejo. They did. He didn't get fired from that one, I guess. Frank Stallone Jr. in this movie, Nelly in this movie, Kevin Connolly from Entourage in this movie.
What is this?
What a cast! Yeah,
that was one of the movies where I
Nelly?
realized, like, oh, if there's like 15 people you know in a movie that you've not heard of the movie, it's probably not good.
It's probably really bad. Yeah.
So average rating of a 2.5, most common a 3, then a 2, then a 2.5, which feels spot on.
Yep.
How many of those 24,000 people have this in their top 4 favorite films of all time?
2.
I was going to say 5.
In between.
Which one do you want? All right, I'll take 4.
It is 3. It's 3 people. We're going to go to no... And also, by the way, none of those 3 people left us a review. They just like, it's one of my 4 favorite movies. I'm not going
This
to write
movie
a single word
fucks.
about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, we're going to go to Noah Shrunk at Noah Shrunk on Letterboxd. His favorite movie of all time is Bullet to the Head.
Number 1, love it.
This is not going to help Joe, but Garrett, his number 3 movie is a movie you and I texted about like 3 hours ago.
What did we text about 3 hours ago? I'm so bad at this, Joey. What did we text about?
It's going to be a Hallmark.
good. I'm
movie.
glad.
Really? Wait, is it Bride of
It's
Chucky?
Bride of Chucky.
Fuck yeah. All right, this guy's smart and good, and I love him.
His profile picture is him holding a trombone in what I can only imagine is like high school band.
Yeah, okay, this guy's a 5-star letterbox user. Continue.
His number 2 movie is okay.
I said John Wick just based on the feel of this.
Yeah, I was going to say Under Siege 2.
You're
You're
what is a
close.
movie that somebody who thinks Bullet to the Head rules would also love?
Boondock Saints.
You're
Good guess.
More
Good
more
guess.
contemporary. Like the same Boondock Saints bro, 10 years in the future has what poster on his dorm room wall? Maybe 15 years into the future.
The Departed.
No, more recent than that. But the same kind of bro. The genre has twisted, but the like ethos is the same.
The genre has twisted.
Like
going. I need
the
a little,
most
I get
annoying
you.
guy you know loves the Boondock Saints, The Departed, and this movie. Came out in 2016.
Not John Wick.
No. No.
Is it a comedy movie?
Kind of. I mean, it's supposed to be. It probably is. I'm probably being hard on it. It's also starring the most annoying movie star.
Aquafina.
More annoying. And she's also not a movie star.
Sorry, I had to
I
take
really
a shot.
like that pull. Yeah.
It was right there for me. I had to do it.
Who's the most annoying movie star?
In the Fast and Furious franchise.
Kevin Hart? Are you saying it's Kevin Hart?
More annoying. But
More annoying.
Oh, wait, okay.
but same movie.
But wait, it's not like Free Guy. It's
You're so
what did
close.
what did he make before
What's
that?
a more popular version of Free Guy starring the most annoying movie star, also from the same
Oh,
movie?
is it
Deadpool.
fucking Deadpool 2?
It's Deadpool 1.
Okay,
Okay, good. Yes,
Like the
you're
college
right.
bro
You were right.
in college when we went to college who has a Boondock Saints, that,
Yes.
10 years ago is a Deadpool poster on his wall.
You're 100%
Yes.
right. Good job.
Yes.
You were right. We weren't there.
And then number
Nailed it.
4, I don't understand why this is there. Which Miyazaki movie do you think this guy loves?
Oh, can I get this one off the rip? Which Miyazaki movie does this... Now, wait, okay, hold on. So is it an unusual Miyazaki pick because he's got an unusual assortment of things here?
No.
No, okay, so it's like Howl's?
It's Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Noah Shrunk loves Bullet to the Head, Deadpool, Bride of Chucky, and Howl's
Yeah.
Moving Castle.
First of all, we laughed at Noah Shrunk, but I think that this young gentleman is on a good trajectory for the future.
The only review he's ever written on Letterboxd was last summer when he watched Inside Out, gave it 3 stars, and said all 5 of my emotions would be schizophrenic.
I'm saying like this person is gonna have really good movie taste when they get a little bit older, is what I think.
I think Noah Shrunk has an older brother. That list of 4 favorite movies has real, my brother showed me some movies energy.
He wants to see one movie. His watch list is one movie long. Which Wes Anderson movie do you think he wants to watch?
See, that's what I'm saying. He's working at it. Like Noah's just
trying.
young. Noah's okay. He'll be all right. Noah, you're good, bud.
Which one does he want to watch?
Which one does he want to watch?
I will also say it's my favorite Wes Anderson movie.
Fantastic Mr. Fox?
No. Joe, do you have a guess?
My favorite's Rushmore, and I know it's not that.
Yeah, that's my fave too. Grand Budapest?
Grand Budapest Hotel. Yes.
Grand Budapest. I think Grand Budapest. I was just making this argument with like my sister the other day before we saw the Phoenician Scheme. Rachel, when we first watched Grand Budapest, Rachel hadn't seen no Wes Anderson movies before that moment, and
Whoa.
she was very, very like lost. And I loved it, and she didn't
Yeah.
get why I loved it. And it's just because
Yeah.
it's like the maximum.
You need the
Wes
language, right? You
Anderson
need to
movie.
understand.
You need,
Yeah.
yeah. And if you
You
know
almost
that,
have to ride the arc of his career with him, kind of.
yeah, because then you get get to Grand Budapest, you're like, oh, this is just so saturated and like it's so Wes Anderson, like kooky and weird. And then like as we watched more Wes Anderson movies, we went back recently and rewatched Grand Budapest, and she was like, this movie's fucking incredible. I was like, yes, I know, yeah, but you need the context of it.
I think you almost got to start at like Rushmore, where it's like
Yeah.
the tiniest germ of what he's going to become is like there. You know?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. I think so too. But either way, Noah's on a good trajectory, and I like this kid.
Speaking of
Noah's
tiny
good
germs, thank you, Garrett, for joining us. I don't know if that's a transition, but you know.
Wait, fan favorite tiny germ?
Fan favorite
Garrett
tiny
Smith?
germ, Garrett Smith. You can't spell germ without germ. Look, all 4 letters in German in your name.
You know what? My last name's Smith. I think it's all there.
It's all there.
Mm-hmm.
You got all of them.
You got G-E and R in your first name. You got M in the last name. It's all there. Germ, what would you like to plug? What would you like to promote? Do you have any podcasts going right now? Is there anywhere that people can follow you, find you, anything you want people to know about your life?
Nothing, nowhere. I hardly exist online anymore. Is all good
for you.
People
Proud of that.
should. Yeah. I don't know. I take improv classes now.
Sweet.
So I'm like,
You were telling us about this. Yeah, that's
I'm having a midlife crisis. So things are going great.
Well, you'll be back for our Valentine's Day episode, which has nothing to do with Valentine's Day, but unless you're romantic
That's
about
incredible
guys
that that's
driving
when that's
trucks
gonna
through
be.
the jungle.
Oh,
We can be romantic.
We've not
about
yet
that.
announced the next lap theme yet, but people know, maybe. Well, the patrons know, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's all.
I'm excited about that. That's going to be a fun one.
Joe, our next episode is A Life in the Fast Lane as it goes. We're going to meet Bow Wow. We're going to meet Twinkie next episode, next minute.
Nice.
Very exciting. We're in minute 20 of Tokyo Drift, Garrett, a movie that we thought was going to be schizophrenic for us to track. Not really. It's totally fine.
Yeah. I rewatched that recently with my girlfriend. We had a great time. She really enjoyed it. And we watched it because we watched the Initial D movie. Have you guys seen that? It's a live-action adaptation of Initial D. I think it came out like a few years before Tokyo Drift and very much feels like made me realize like, oh, Tokyo Drift is Justin Lin going like, I'd like to make an Initial D movie, and I think this Fast and Furious franchise is the way to do it.
I think so
Kind of
too.
interesting.
Yep.
We have not yet done that, but that's on a couple different laps that we could plug that into. But
And Sung Kang is reportedly in production, or like trying to launch a new
saw that.
live action Initial D anyway. So
Yeah, which makes sense. It's you guys will probably like it. It's like not great, but it's got vibes and it's got some good stuff in it.
cool.
cool.
Well, Garrett, thank you for joining us, and thank you all for listening. Oh, I also give a shout out to our patrons. Can't forget that. The most important people in the world: Alex Ellenin, Justin Kleiman, Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber
Ooh.
Party, Wes Hampton, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke, Hayden Renato, Di Donato, Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski, Nate Milton of the Kings of Sport, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, Josh Buckley of Whole Lotta Wolves,
Yep.
Michael Moser, Christian Larson, Tara Newman, Aaron Willows, and Natalie Absolute, Randy Carter, Josh Goularm, Alex Walsh, Jack Haley, and Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. Thank you all for
Hey,
can I-
supporting. Yes.
Can I ask you guys about your patrons?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure one of the names in that list is Tara New One, right?
Uh-huh.
Which is like a Bart Simpson phone call joke, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the first person who ever commented on it. I was just like, do you want me to say it? Like, how do you want me to say this? And they're like you expected. I'm like, okay.
Somebody's paying $1 for that. I love
Somebody's paying $5 to get on that list.
it. Hell yeah. All right. Now,
Tara's great,
Tara,
actually.
Tara, you've won my affection.
Tara is in the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, email us, family@cageclub.me, or just email us about anything. We'll read on the next episode, Life in the Fast Lane, next week. Check out our Patreon page at toofast2forever.com. Get your name on the list. And our store, cageclub.me/shop. George Pick. Well, hold on. Got to check. George Pickens still in the shop. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Garrett, we had a shirt removed from the store for copyright infringement, and then it suddenly went back to the store. So
And somebody bought one again.
somebody bought one. So it's back there now. So if you want the George Pickens NFL Youngboy Fast Five,
This might be exclusive. You might never get this shirt again.
it is
Who's
premier
George
and dedicated.
Pickens? Who is this person?
Cageclub.me/shop.
George Pickens is a wide receiver that used to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who on draft night wore this like Pooh Shiesty mask and watched himself get drafted on TV. And so I said it would be really funny if Joey could put Fast and the Furious on the television as if he's watching Fast and the Furious.
I made a shirt because Joe wanted a shirt, and we've sold say we've sold like 50 shirts ever. 40 of them are this shirt, and then the
Yes.
8 of the other 10 are either to Joe or me. Like, I mean, a couple people have bought them, but like basically nobody buys them, and then like so many strangers buy this shirt.
So many people buy this shirt.
Does he currently play for the NFL?
He plays for the Dallas Cowboys because the Steelers traded him 3 years into his rookie contract, or 2 years, because he has just discipline issues and
Look, I'm just
personality
saying,
issues.
Maybe you guys are breaking news. Maybe the reason that's back on the shop is because he's fucking out. That's
Maybe.
copyright infringement over. That dude's he's not playing anymore.
Oh no, he's rostered on the Dallas Cowboys. He recently fought a couple guys in camp, so like he exists. Like he's just like this kind of guy.
This
So
dude sounds rad.
yeah, no, he's really fun. You have to see it. Like he will sorry, not to spiral on George Pickens, but like he like specifically like deleted like the Steelers off his Instagram once, and then they asked him about it, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Like I don't really use my Instagram." And they're like, "You use it like 3 posts a day." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about." Like it's just like one of these guys.
I feel like that's what Vin Diesel would say if you called him out on like something he was doing on his Instagram. He'd be like, "What do you mean? What Instagram?"
Based on how he uses it, probably, to be honest. We've seen him take a lot of videos. He doesn't know how to stop them, so probably. He just thinks it's just like sending to his family chat or something, you know?
It's fun. It does give off like very like old man using technology energy in a way that I don't think he wants to convey.
Oh, yeah.
That is very amusing.
Oh, yeah. I'm Joey Lewandowski,
I'm Joe, too.
and that was fan favorite Garrett the Germ Smith, and we will tell you all about it
When we see you again.